Swastiastu, Wasantang Raja. Oh, the beloved 10 art styles challenge. You know it. We all know it. I don't think I gotta explain what's going on here. It's exactly what it says on the tin. I have been stuck in a creative slump for months now, and I have been itching to do some sort of art study. The problem is that I have too much stuff that I want to study. Now, I've done portrait, gesture, and style studies here and there, you know, a little bit in between, but I've never actually sat down and committed any of them in memory. And basically, in order to force myself to learn how to draw again, I'm turning it into content. Now, usually whenever people do these types of challenges, they limit themselves to either just styles from media or styles from other artists. I mulled over this for a very long time before realizing that God gave me free will for a reason, and this is my channel, I can do whatever I want. So to satisfy the little indecisive gremlin that runs my brain, I'll be doing 7 styles from independent artists that I follow on my social medias, and 3 art styles from mangakas whose work that I've read. Starting with the control group, my style. So the character I'll be drawing for this challenge is my OC Choco from my story Pulang Kampung. It's a slice of life story of what it was like growing up in Bali as a teenager in the late 2010s. I hold it very close to my heart, it's a comfort story. Her design is honest to God my favorite out of all of my OCs. Now I know parents aren't usually supposed to have favorite children, but mine is Choco. It's her. Mine is her. She's a very girly and cutesy character, which is a stark contrast to what she does as a hobby. She's really easy to draw, so I think her design is the easiest to fudge while looking recognizable, which is important for me in this challenge because I'll be changing her design conventions to better suit the style of the person I'm replicating. If you want to know more about her lore or any of my other OCs, there will be a link to my Unveil account in the description if you're interested. It's where I put all my brain rotten. With all that out of the way, let's start with our first replication, shall we? Originally, I had planned to just do bust-up shots for this challenge, but I came to the unfortunate conclusion that if I wanted to truly study these styles, I cannot take the easy way out. So full-body illustrations it is. Starting with the monarch of my creative inspiration, the original muse, June. I am definitely not hiding the fact that June has been my main inspiration for 9 whole years now, and counting. Jesus Christ. If you stare at my art long enough, you can tell just how much they've inspired me over the years. It takes a very special person to have my attention span for almost a decade. And every time they upload something, it makes my creative drive go whoosh. So they're the first on the list. I love how June breaks anatomy for the sake of a more dynamic pose. I love how they exaggerate features, faces, quirks, making limbs do the old bendy wendy. I eat that shit up. They've inspired me to be less rigid with my art and just enjoy the process, which, by the way, I feel like every artist needs to hear that. Enjoy the process. Don't worry about the aftermath. It's the journey that what matters. They also may or may not have inspired me to dig up an old creative grave, but that's a story for another day. I should preface that I did not do these drawings in order. June's style is actually one of the last ones I did. You can tell based on how I just neglected to draw the Argyle pattern on her vest. Sorry. Listen, if anything, I am embodying their mindset. If I don't feel like adding detail, I just won't. Art style number 1, complete. I know what you're thinking. Raja, isn't that the same person? Yes, it is, and I don't care. If you've watched June's content for a while, you can definitely see there's been a massive style shift in their art. Both styles have such an important place in my heart, and I couldn't choose, and I wanted to see if I could imitate both, so I'm doing their own style too. What can I say? I'm an amalgamation of everything I love. I had to dust off the old default G pen for this one because I have not drawn with that bitch in 6 years. I, honest to God, thought this rendering style was going to be really hard to do, but after intensely studying some old speed paints, it actually turned out easier than I thought it would be. So there's Choco with the June style 1.0. Default. It's not default, the old one, the pre-reboot one. Moving on from my oldest inspiration to my newest. Emma's art style is so unique in my opinion. It's so cartoony and stylized, and I just love it. I haven't seen anything like it anywhere else. I remember stumbling upon her doujinkas for the Mona Lisa and the girl with the pearl earring, and later on watching her OC redesign videos. And by the way, Emma, if you're watching this, Bella, I love her so much. Which also inspired me to take a crack on an old TED story. Reboots are fun, guys. You should reboot your old stories. It's really fun. It's a good creative exercise. I'm not entirely sure if I did this style justice. It kind of felt like I was just drawing Choco normally with a slightly different face. Funny little coinkydink, just as I was about to start coloring this, Emma actually uploaded an entire shading tutorial video, which sure as hell made my life easier. Thanks for that, Emma. Your divine timing is thoroughly appreciated. Here she is! Look at her fun little pose. Such whimsy. I've known about Vivinos since their horror animations, okay guys? Suki Suki Daisuki, Tilly Tilly Boom, and My September, the works. They kind of fell off my radar a little after 2022, and I honestly kind of forgot about them for a while. And then round 6 happened. Oh my god. To say that I spiraled into this series would be an understatement. A dystopian world where humanity lost their identity and are slaves to aliens, where they are forced into a Hunger Games-esque version of the X Factor for entertainment as an allegory for how socially cannibalistic and exploitive the K-pop industry is? Hell, sign me up, yes! Continuing on with the art style, I decided to use the style Vivi uses for her personal and pink bitch club art because it's just so cute. The Y2K shoujo style and the bright colors are perfect for Choco. I had to draw her in this style. Side note, I never realized just how bright Vivi's art was before attempting this style. Oh my days, my retinas were on fire during the coloring process. But it was so worth it, guys. I do think I could have been a bit more accurate with the shading. She has this very simple yet contrasty shading style that's really hard to replicate. There's this very fine line between just right and over-rendered, and she walks that line like a tightrope walker. But all being said, I'm really happy with how she turned out. Oh, and a blank one. You guys didn't think I'd do Vivinos without including their girlfriend, right? Qmeng is the second man behind the slider that is Alien Stage. A little after round 3, Alien Stage actually starts shifting more towards Qmeng style. I'm assuming it's because her art translates better to the themes that are portrayed within the series, but I don't know, that's just me speculating. I would also like to flex that I bought the art book, and it's on her way here, and I'm so excited. It's a damn shame that I couldn't get my hands on it now while replicating these styles, but that's just a petty complaint. No, I'm gonna be so for real, guys. I was balls deep struggling with this one, to the point that I gave up doing a full body illustration and decided that if I wanted to accurately replicate this style, I should at least focus on the part that I wanted to hitchhike on, which was the hair and the face. I probably need to do more master studies of this style, but for this challenge, this will suffice. I like how Qmeng draws glasses, so I give Choco her spectacles, which is a bit ironic because she's already wearing contacts, but you know, cuteness over function. Up next is Hanacue. The best way I can describe Hana's art style is pure, unfiltered, cute. Her art is so pretty and soft and shiny, and every time I look at it, it makes my magpie brain go caca. Not gonna lie, I was kinda scared to do the line art. Hana's line art is hella thin in comparison to what I'm used to, but surprisingly, miraculously, by some miracle, it went well. I think it's mostly to do with the fact that Hanacue has many videos going into depth how she renders her pieces, and she's an angel for that. Thank you, Hana. You taught me that a multiply layer and an overlay layer will do just fine. It will suffice. Guys, I love how her eyes look. Look how sparkly and shiny and gemstone-like they are. She's so pretty. She's so pretty. My daughter is so pretty, guys. Eku Uekura, or just Eku for short. If you're in the VTuber community, you'll recognize this art style from a mile away because this is Anya Melfi's model artist. Her art is so intricate and delicate and absolutely covered head to toe with meticulous detail. So much so that I completely changed Choco's outfit to better fit this art style. If I had drawn Choco in her normal getup in Eku-sensei style, she would look plain. And Choco doesn't like being plain, she wants to be uber cute. Her dream is to own 1,000 cute dresses, so I'm putting her in the cutest dress that I can muster. Here's what the concept art looks like. She looks like she could fit right into AKB48. I'm not sure if this arcade game was available in the West back in the early 2010s. But if any of you played Love and Berry as a child, this is what Eku-sensei's art reminds me of. I was actually overwhelmed with how much detail I had to put into these outfits, but I kinda, I could have gotten a little more crazy with the dress, but I don't have the mental library for that yet, so this'll have to do. I was an Animal Kaiser kid growing up anyway. Now we're moving on to the mangakas, starting off with the legend who definitely deserves a better fandom, Horikoshi Kohei. Boku no Hero was my first exposure to anime fandom. It wasn't my first anime per se, my first anime was Ninja Hattori-kun, but it was my first and honestly last experience directly interacting with an anime-centric fandom. Horikoshi Sensei probably has the best understanding of fundamentals I have ever seen in a mangaka that I have personally read. His anatomy, dude, it's so good when it will be my turn. I had to heavily reference a bunch of his sketches to even come close to how he draws bodies. Forgive me, I'm not good with dreaming up cute poses. I had to use this one and heavily reference it. I am sorry, but I am also not. I was so scared to do the rendering for this piece. To be honest, I was scared to do the rendering on a lot of them. I've noticed that in comparison to his pages, Horikoshi has a more painterly style when it comes to his manga covers, which actually gave me a lot of leeway to fudge detail. And I'm honestly really shocked on how well it turned out. This is why I use references, kids. It makes life so much more easier. Tite Kubo. And before anyone gets on my ass from how I'm pronouncing his name wrong, I have scoured the web and not a single person agrees on how to pronounce his name. He calls himself Tite Kubo in interviews anyways, and so will I. Moving on. Just like Qmeng style, I definitely gave up doing a full body drawing on this one. I drew all these out of order and Kubo Sensei style was the last one I did, and I was running out of steam real quick. I just wanted to get this challenge over with, dude. I just wanted it done. Besides, the way Kubo draws faces is what I wanted to study anyways. Out of the big three, Bleach is probably my favorite character design-wise by a long shot. I adore every single one of them, especially Ashfalt. He's very pretty. To say that I fudged the anatomy on this style would be a grave understatement, but again, I was getting tired. I wanted to enjoy what very little sunlight England had to offer this week, so let's move on to our last style, shall we? And last but not least, AidaIro, aka the mangaka and writer behind Jibakusho and Hanacue-kun. Bro, I ate up this art style when the anime dropped. I bought a few volumes from Gramed just to have the physical copies of the pretty art on my shelf, along with the official art book. This thing is my pride and joy. In case you don't know, AidaIro is actually two people, a duo. Aida is the illustrator, and Iro is the one who writes the story. That's the name. Aida Sensei's style is single-handedly the most unique I have ever seen in a shonen period. Deadass, I thought the show was gonna be a shoujo when I watched the first episode, and before I looked it up on Google and confirmed that it was indeed a shonen. I love how sketchy and messy it is when you look at it up close. The line weight is just gorgeous. I love it. Chef's kiss. And don't get me started on the rendering. Something I've noticed about this rendering style is that Aida never actually uses blendings unless it's the blush. They do this thing which I really love where they fake seamless soft color gradation with hatching, which is something that I actually do with my more rendered pieces. It's a good thing to add. It fakes detail and I love it. I don't really like the shading I did for this one. The line art is fine, but something's off with the shading and the coloring and I don't know why. I don't know what it is. Probably because Aida Sensei rarely uses blue to this extent, but it's fine. You can't win them all. I still like how it turned out, and she's really cute in the style. I should draw her more in it. And the butterfly pin. I put so much effort into that butterfly pin, guys. Please appreciate it. That's going to be it for today's video. I'm really happy with how all these turned out. Some are better replications than others, but I'm just proud of myself for finishing a challenge before buggering off and doing something else. Please tell me what y'all think in the comments. I would love to hear what you think. And if you want to know more about my OCs and this girl in particular, you can head to my Unveil page, which will be linked in the description below. Thank you to all my Discord members for the beautiful fan art, and I'll see y'all later in the next video, wherever that may be. Cheers!